This is HSC 3102 Personal Family Health. My name is Emanuel, and I'm a lecturer in the Department of Health, Education, and Behavior in the College of Health and Human Performance. This course received the 2018 Online Education Excellence Award in Learner Satisfaction. When creating this course, I wanted to make it personally relevant and useful for all students. Instead of me telling students how the material relates to their lives, students complete assignments where they relate the material to their own lives and to their world. I also wanted to create an open and engaged environment for students where they feel comfortable. So I try to create a lot of opportunities for instructor presence where I'm communicating frequently with students. I send out announcements every single Monday, and I do detail what they have to do for the week, but I also try to include a little, if it's homecoming, something about homecoming, or if it's if we had a storm or something, unique to what's happening right now, so they know it's just not like a copy paste, which I do copy and paste some of it. But I always try to create something unique in there too. I also share a lot of pictures with my dog. I've changed my syllabus this semester as well, so I have pictures of my dog everywhere, and I send pictures throughout the semester. I included the picture of us from my TAs and us from the award this semester, and the students were writing "Oh, congratulations!" And so I try to foster that kind of environment where I'm sharing with them, because online they share a lot of information with me, and so I try to kind of create that open environment for students. Students appreciate that the course is focused on them applying what they learned to themselves or their world. So when we learn about sleep and then discuss technology and fear of missing out and how it impacts sleep, students can immediately take what they've learned and apply it to their own lives to improve their sleep schedule. The favorite assignment for students in this class is the Health Behavior Change Project. The Health Behavior Change Project is a project where students take 7 weeks to change a health behavior that they want to improve. And so we talk a lot about different health behaviors in the class, and so they can pick anything that they want to improve, and we kind of systematically go about trying to change it. So there's a baseline period where they track their current behavior, and they're trying to see kind of any patterns so that they can, more directly change that. Then the second part is 2 weeks where they try to change their behavior, use different strategies, and then talk about, kind of reflect on what strategies worked, didn't work. And then the final part is they do an overall reflection on the last 2 weeks of what worked, what didn't work, if they can keep up that behavior, if they're going to keep up that behavior, and then tying it into what we learned at the very beginning of the semester with health behavior change theories, and whether those constructs and those theories were applicable to their own health behavior change journey. In the final section of the paper, students reflect on their own health behavior change journey, and they often talk about how difficult it was and how they have greater empathy for others who are struggling with their health. Another assignment that students enjoy is the reflection assignment. Each week, students complete a reflection where students are given a kind of an overall prompts question that they reflect on before they learn any material for that week. And then after learning the material for the week, they go back to that prompt and re-reflect on that question. So this is the homepage for my course, and at the beginning of the semester, students are obviously going to do the start here, and that contains all the kind of beginning information. There's the syllabus that contains the link to the syllabus, course questions, which is the discussion board for any course questions they have throughout the semester, and then the instructor link is a little bit about me. But the modules is how students navigate through the course. And so the module 0 is just the start here module. But if we go to the first kind of real content module, module 1, so the first thing that they would hit is the introduction, and there we see objectives, and then the next thing is this reflection assignment. So the reflection prompt for module 1 is: before reading or viewing any of the lectures, reflect on what your current definition of what you believe health is. Are you healthy? How can you determine if someone is healthy or not? So then they would do that, write that little bit of information. And here's where they would actually submit the assignment. But then after that, they go to the instructional material, and we have the readings, the video lectures, and then additional videos. Another aspect of the course that students enjoy are the discussions. Often discussions on online classes are considered boring and just something that they have to do, but what I try to do in this class is make sure that the discussion topics are personally relevant to all students. And so, for example, with the sex ed module, what we do is we have students read about sex ed in the Netherlands, which is very different from how it is in the United States, and they can compare and contrast their own sex ed that they've learned about in the United States from their own schools to how it's done in the Netherlands. And it creates a really nice learning environment for students where they're excited to hear about what other students have learned and their perspectives on this topic. I like online teaching because of the personal connections I can make with students. Even though I teach a lot of students each semester, I feel that I am in constant contact with them through the assignments they do every week, and I can really see how they are growing both intellectually and personally throughout the semester, and to me that makes online teaching really exciting.